We're going to talk about something today that I think is a good conversation. And so we're going to record the pre-show. We don't do that very often. So if you're watching this recording, what you're watching is something we do on our Zoom from 7:30 to 8. Many of you come and watch the recording on Facebook, or you join us at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Well, there's a bunch right now, almost 500 people that get on at 7:30 Eastern. And we've got like this whole separate private call that we don't record, except today we're going to record it because I think it makes sense. Because the question comes from Alexis inside of the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group, and here's what she said. Dual career agents. All right, how many of you were dual career at some point? That you were balancing both, you were transitioning in. Maybe you're still dual career right now. It's common. And I get very, I don't know. Sometimes people are like, we should have dual career. Whatever. Just let people go run their business and you go run yours. She's asking for help. How do you manage the balance between your normal Monday through Friday and then real estate? Do you have a schedule for yourself to make sure you're meeting your real estate goals and lead gen, etc.? I'm just trying to find some more balance between work and real estate. I currently have a listing I'm working on, and I'm balancing showings and phone calls, etc. I definitely don't see myself staying dual career, which is very common. Most people say that. But at least in the meantime, I want to find a better balance, right? Because a lot of people want to transition into the business. So let's help Alexis out, because I know many of you either were or are dual career, or you've got some advice on how to balance it out too, because in addition to a job, you might have a family you're running or other things. So let's walk through it. Marilyn Burke, what's your advice for Alexis this morning? Good morning.
Split shift. She has to treat it like it's exactly what it is. I would do a split shift. So morning was gym, got the kids to school. You work, you have to chunk it, make chunks of time that you can work and plan the crossover when you can leave your full-time job to go into this. It's all about the planning and chunking down the time, I believe.
I do think part of it, I found as a team leader for over 8 years, which I recruited many dual career people into the business. I found that the ones that succeeded were the ones who did set some sort of deadline as to, okay, here's when I'm transitioning. If it was a teacher, they'd say, this is my last school year. At the end of the school year, I'm transitioning. Somebody else, they were waiting for to hit a timeline so they could get a pension. They knew when the deadline was going to be. And Marilyn, once they knew when that transition was going to happen, then they were forced to kind of make the other stuff work for a period of time.
Keep your eyes on the prize. If that's truly your goal and your intention, the challenge, I think, is when people try. I think I'll try real estate. They're not, you have to commit to what your plan is. I guess, and be steadfast. That's what you're doing. And the rest will follow. It's not easy, but it won't, you'll have a little bit of pain, and then you'll get to pleasure when you can leave one job and do this full time. So
That's
they
great
just have to
advice.
remember.
Thank you, Marilyn Burke. That's great advice. So, Alexis, I hope this is helping you. We'll post the recording inside of Pivot. Bree, what's your thought?
Morning. So I always felt like dual career was a mindset, because you have agents that are in the business, have all the time in the world to work on their business and to find business, and they choose to do other things. So to me, being a dual career just means you have to be really intentional with the time that you have, and have atomic habits to where, rather than 9 to 11, you may only be able to say, I have a goal of making this many contacts per day versus having a designated time to lead generate. So having a number or a standard of how many contacts you will make, understanding that it's not, oh, let me take off this full-time hat and put on my real estate hat. I've said it every time I get a chance. Real estate is a lead generation is a lifestyle. So there's leads everywhere. And then thirdly, just partnering with a productivity coach at your market center and just saying, hey, here's the number that I need to keep the lights on. Here's the number that I need to live my life by design and to make my exit strategy out of your full-time position into real estate.
That's really good. Thank you, Bree. That's great. Everybody stop the presses. Stop the presses, freeze. Everybody stay right where you are. Don't move. This is urgent and breaking. Nisi Draper has her hand up. When Nisi Draper has her hand up, she jumps to the front of the line. And this is a great conversation for you, Nisi. You're dual career right now.
Absolutely. So I would say time block, schedule, calendar. Like, it's all about your schedule, all about the time. And then you want to automate everything that you can. So anything that you could set up to kind of happen without you having to touch it. You want to do that. Take advantage of quiet hours. So there's a lot of times in life, just in your day to day, where there's a lot of hustle and bustle, but then there are times where there's nobody, right? So like maybe take like a Friday evening. Where is everybody? What's happening? Nobody's calling you, nobody's reaching out to you. That could be great real estate time. Leverage with people after optimizing technology. So as a dual career person, it's really hard to manage people because you might have to do something else. So optimize technology as much as you can, and then leverage the people. So those would be my tips.
That's really good. And by the way, be careful. Nisi knows everything about you already. Nisi knows everything. Thank you, Nisi. Appreciate it. Always love hearing from you. Barbara, good morning.
Good morning from sunny Miami. So my answer is really simple, especially this week. Just join Inspire and go on the summer surge, because that's exactly what you're talking about, really, is like prioritizing time for all the things that are important in our life. So that's my suggestion, even if you have to listen to the recorded call later because you have your other job during the day.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, you can access all the Inspire stuff via the app, listen to it while you're driving around. I do think what we're teaching in Summer Surge, once you get the hang of it, is ultimately pretty simple. It's just check boxes. Did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do this? And you want to hit your check boxes more days than you don't, and you're in good shape. Barbara, thank you. Kathleen, we're talking about Alexis's question. She said, hey, dual career agents, how do you manage the balance between your normal Monday through Friday in real estate? Do you have a schedule for yourself to make sure you're meeting your real estate goals, your lead gen, et cetera? I'm just trying to find more balance between day work and real estate. I'm currently have a listing I'm working on, and I'm balancing showings and phone calls. And I definitely don't see myself saying dual career for long, but at least in the meantime, help me find a better way to balance it all. That's what we're talking about this morning for Alexis, who asked this inside of Pivot Shift Ahead. Kathleen, good morning.
Good morning, James. I love this because I am right now mentoring two young professionals that are dual and also going to college in my market center. So it's really fresh in front of me, and I love what I'm hearing. And my suggestion is find someone to mentor with. Pick an agent in your office, surround yourself around people that you can mentor, and surround yourself around someone else that's going through this as well. And what are they doing to succeed? Or what are they doing to get out of being dual, and do they want to? And I also interviewed some of my single moms. I've got some clients that became realtors, and I learned from them. God bless these single moms that are doing, like super women. So the big thing for me, suggestions, leverage, find someone to help you, hire a showing assistant. There's, if you can get a virtual assistant to take some of that load off of you, and you're at a workplace, you've got a database right there that you can shout out to the rooftop that you're an agent. How can I help you?
Good advice, Kathleen. Who we hang out with matters. Thank you so much. Rhonda, good morning. You're dual career. You do this already too, run a successful business and helping the kids. We're going to make sure we don't stop the music. Good morning, Rhonda.
Good morning. Well, and that's kind of, I struggled whether or not to even address her question simply because I don't have an 8 to 5. I'm also a respiratory therapist and work 13-hour night shifts. Getting ready to go in.
You got lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly. Getting ready to go in for 4 nights starting Thursday. I think the days that you have off, I think for her particularly, open houses are great. The part that's interesting for me is working every other weekend. That's generally when we have open houses. So I, get some of the newer agents in my office that maybe don't have the business. Let's talk about doing open houses and let them run that for me, run that play while I'm asleep. And then we get up and kind of debrief about how it went, things of that nature. I simply am giving what was given to me when I started as dual career. And then I think the other piece is, do you really, as someone just mentioned, you have a built-in database in that other career. It doesn't make sense for me when 50 to 70% of what I have is coming from the hospital to leave. Also, I'm a mere 49 years old. So what does retirement look like at 49, right? So I'm just not realistically going to do that right now, but it is very much a time balance with schedule.
Well, the thing is too about that, you do that, then you got the stuff with the band, and then you're doing your real estate, but you have a successful business. Like you're not just selling a couple houses a year. You've got a good business. How do you get to that spot where it's just now this is your life?
You know, I think it's a constant, it is a struggle, but I do believe you just have to be aware of it and go, you know what, I screwed that one up today. Like you said, you have to be able to try to celebrate the wins and realize that, hey, I didn't get this right today. Tomorrow's a new day. Say I'm sorry if you need to. Like with my wife, it's like today we're going to try to get on the jet skis, weather permitting. And then I'll, chunk some real estate stuff in the afternoon. But again, knowing that I've got 4 nights at the hospital towards the end of the week.
And you still go to family reunion, you came to Elevate, you're engaged in stuff. It can be done. It can be done. Rhonda, thank you so much. I'm glad you shared. Curtis, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning, James. Thanks for allowing me to get on. Well, there's a book that I had picked up that I would probably suggest everybody to take a look at. It's called Dual Career to a Full Career by John Clyde, who is part of Keller Williams.
Genius.
He's the New Jersey State Trooper. And I know there's one part about it where he talks about it takes a team. And in that, it even made me think about it. I mean, I was able to transition into real estate real easy for myself because Carlene was already in it. I was an elevator. I used to install elevators. I was an elevator installer, became an elevator inspector. And, making that transition, I kind of put things on the back burner when it came to scheduling. So I was able to, transition in real easily. So it was easy for me. But leverage, like what I hear everybody talking about, leverage, I think, is the biggest thing, is being able to leverage yourself and finding people to do some of those medial tasks for you while like making phone calls, having maybe an ISA or something to make phone calls for you. So I think that would be one of the great things that would be a good start, is just making sure you leverage yourself.
I'm thinking, as you're talking about that, Hello Leverage is coming to mind for me. That's a group that we've done some stuff with as our events. Amanda Churchwell runs that. To get some of the listing marketing off your plate, or to get some of your contract to close stuff off your plate, because you just don't have the hours that maybe other agents have. And if you're going to be a successful dual career person, your focus needs to be on generating leads and then servicing those leads that come your way and taking the rest of it and passing it through. So maybe a Hello Leverage might be a great company to check out. Curtis, thank you so much. Mark Martin, good morning.
I am sorry there. I wasn't finding the mute button.
Well, you found it. You're good. Good morning.
Thank you for calling on me, James. This is near and dear to my heart. I actually am dual career and plan to stay that way. My story is that 8 years ago, I was on staff full time at a church as a music director, and I was just for financial reasons due to what was going on at the church at the time. I had to go move part time, so I actually got into real estate because of that, to kind of fill in the gaps for my family and to take care of. And my passion still is that music ministry. But I love real estate, and I do both. So I think about this all the time. It's my life. And so I guess I come at it from a different perspective. But a couple of quick things. One, Parkinson's law is that work expands to the time allowed. So I think that I've been able to be a lot more efficient, and I had to be more efficient in what I did at first, because I have about 20 hours a week that I commit to the church every week, and I have what's left, in family time. So I think a lot of what's being said is definitely true. If you do intend to stay dual career, I know most people want to transition out of it, but if you have the kind of life situation where you want to do both, I think there has to be some flexibility on both sides. For me, I have some flexibility on the church side with schedule, so I can move that around. There's some understanding on that side. But again, like I forget who it was. It was just spoke a few seconds ago. You have to, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Well, my guess is you also probably earn business from people at church. Like, it's not a secret that now you're not up there singing and wearing your plaid shirt and playing your guitar and asking for leads, but you are building relationships inside the church, so that when someone needs you, they're working with you. Yes? Exactly
right. And you picked up the train of thought that I lost. Yeah, I like the other person, I get business from that, not intentionally going after it. But it's almost like, when you're building community and doing these community events, a lot of that stuff is just naturally done every Sunday. That's, part of my pop buys are come to church. People just see and they know what you do. So it's doable. it is a challenge and it is a struggle, and you're always, but leverage.
Yeah.
Transaction.
Mark, great advice. And I think that part of it, what we're saying, this is why I don't get wound up about dual career agents, because I think many people are like Mark and Nisi and Rhonda. They're great people who run great businesses and have another career that they want to keep because they're passionate about it too, or there's a reason to keep it. And they found a way for it to work for them. And you can find a way for it to work for you too, bottom line. Thank you so much. Stand by. I want to jump up to Laura because Laura, I don't recall you ever raising your hand before. So you always do a fast pass for that little lightning lane. Good morning, Laura.
Hi, good morning. No, I haven't. This is probably my first time on the call. I just changed jobs from ATL at one office and I'm now a PC coach at another. The office that I'm at now catered to dual agents. So the facts that I called in on this call this morning and you're talking about this is pretty amazing. So I was going to call in just to see if it would be something my PC coaching. I have about 200 agents in the program right now. They're new dual agents, and I thought this would be a great avenue for them to pop in and listen to. So I really just joined to see what it was all about. So this I was brought here for a reason, and I think it's all what you put into it. You can have this dual agent and another dual agent, and if you're working 9 to 6 and you have 2 kids at home and you want to ask me how to be a dual agent, it's going to be a little more difficult. But if you can work your weekends, then you put it in. It's what you put into it.
Yeah, it's a true story. We're glad you're here, by the way. And yes, your PC clients will enjoy what we do here. So I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. It becomes about schedule, balance, and time, and figuring out what effort you're willing to put in and what effort you won't. But I know many dual career agents who outsell full-time agents every day. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate you. Let's go to Jolie. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And on that note, I actually have an agent in my coaching group that is a firefighter. And when I tell you that he is super motivated and time blocked, you can find pockets of time to do the lead generation, to do the lead follow-up, to manage your business. I'm working with him on hopefully getting a transaction coordinator in the near future, because I think that's huge leverage on that contract to close. Somebody in the post had commented that they don't like working with dual career agents because they want to be able to get things done during business hours. Now, real estate is not always about business hours. We know that, but I think hiring a TC can leverage some of that because they can be the person that can handle the contract questions or the timing questions and some of these things, during that time. But I think it's definitely possible to run a really strong business. Like I mentioned, the agent that I'm working with is running a really strong business and does have a timeline, does have a goal to eventually go to real estate full time. But it's just a matter of getting to where he needs to go. And like we hear from Jordan Fried, his willings match his why. So he's willing to do the work in those pockets of time and true pockets of time in between fire calls. And he is just, doing, like I said, amazing things. And like Bree said, leads are everywhere. I taught lead generation yesterday, and there were a lot of dual career agents because it was Ignite After Dark. And like they were all asking, well, when do I lead gen? Because I can't do my lead gen from 9 to 12. You don't have to do your lead gen from 9 to 12. Do what you love to do or what you're doing anyways, and just do it with purpose. If your kids are in sports or activities, wear some branded gear and just show up and have conversations. If you, are at work, obviously, you don't want to do anything to jeopardize your job, but those are people that also have to live somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, leads are everywhere, Jolie. Bottom line is leads are all over the place. And I know we've had it so drilled into us. You have to lead gen from 9 to 11. That is trash. We say you lead generate in the morning because you're more likely to do that sort of thing in the morning. But the truth is you're always lead generating. Like that is never off. We're always doing it. And yes, if you've got it and your schedule allows it, you should be lead generating in the morning, but it never turns off. Jolie, thank you so much. I want to get some others in. Jonathan, you get to cut the line. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for letting me share. So I am a dual career agent. I'm a school counselor, so I work for the school system. And I just got into real estate back in October. And I think the biggest thing for me is being intentional. So I think with being intentional, with talking to my coworkers, I've gotten 4 leads off of just talking to people about, real estate through my job, and even parents as well. I've gotten leads from parents that I meet. So I think the intentionality of it is the biggest part of being successful as a dual career agent. And then also too, just having goals. So like for me, my goal is to produce full-time numbers while I'm dual career. Then I make a choice of whether or not I want to be dual or just go full-time at real estate. Thank you for letting me share.
Jonathan, great
Thank you.
share, and thanks for being a counselor. What grades?
High school. So I do 9 through 12.
Woo! All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you deserve a medal for that. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you. Arthur, you're next. Good morning.
If I can get off mute.
You're
My girl
there.
said,
You're
Daddy,
off.
why
Go
aren't
ahead,
you
buddy.
saying? My girl said, why aren't you saying anything? So basically, one of the things that hit me is that we worked with other agents in the office because I've had a lot of medical stuff. So I've created 2 or 3 agents that are happy to help show property, do an open house if something comes up. So just working as a team within the office, people are more likely to do that than you think sometimes.
It's a true story. Yeah, especially this is you'll find that people you work with are helpful and supportive. They want you to win. They want you to succeed. They've got your back. Ian?
James, I had the world's worst job while I was dual career. I was a probation officer, supervised nothing but sex offenders, right? So I supervised sex offenders, not even making $40,000 a year. My wife was pregnant with triplets. I'm not making 40 grand a year, supervising sex offenders, and my wife's pregnant with triplets. I was going broke. I had to decide what the hell to do. So luckily I had enough leave time. When my kids were born, I essentially quit, but I had enough leave where I got paid for a year and started working full-time in real estate, back against the wall, and I just never looked back. I didn't have a choice. So just quit, set a timeline, and don't look back.
Yeah, if that's your plan, if your plan is to get out, pick the date and then move toward that date and stick to that date. Ian, I agree. Thank you so much. Tyler, you get the last word.
Last word. So I just became a dual career agent back in December when my wife had to fire a practice manager for her orthodontic organization and needed help running 4 offices. And what that did is it made me more intentional about the time that I spend in real estate. And one of the things, it eliminated my procrastination because I had an opportunity to procrastinate and say, oh, I can get to this later. So I would. And by adopting that dual career mentality, when real estate has to happen, it has to happen right now. And I can't do the things later. So my lead gen has to happen now. And I have to be more intentional about time blocking and the things that I have on my schedule. Thank you.
You got it, Tyler. Thank you. And I know your wife's happy you're helping her run that business. Good stuff. So Alexis, thanks for asking the question. Hopefully this little conversation helps you out a little bit. Anybody else who's dual career, again, I trust this helps you out. Thanks for watching our little pre-show. And if you liked this and you're watching the recording, we do this live every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. We don't usually record it. It's just a kind of a gift for those who get up early. We have this convo. So if you'd like to come hang out with us, just go to my website, jamesdshaw.com, and click join our free daily call. Zoom room opens at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, and we have conversations like this every day. Thanks for watching.